Morning, everyone, and welcome to Kim's Gardens. I'm Kim, and I'm looking through my plants down here, starting with my aquarium terrariums, just looking through everything, trying to figure out what I can harvest to plant new areas. I'm right now looking at the Selaginella. It's kind of growing quite freely, trying to escape from the tank. As you can see, there has been some dieback, but it appears to be alive down underneath the dead part. I'm kind of just hesitating and holding back, trying to go in there and clip off because it seems to be doing just fine on its own. Now this is the peacock fern. Next to it I have another aquarium with all my baby's tears with some Photonia. But the Photonia right now, it's being taken over. It's just being swamped by the baby tears. But I'm going to have a lot of baby tears to put in new planters, and I'm looking forward to those being outside this year. I really think I want to plant up a lot of my pots. I've got a lot of pots ready and am anxious to see what they'll all look like. But you can see all that dead and brown, but underneath is all the living. And look at that pretty blue the peacock fern has. And I'm sure it would be making a great hanging pot, but right now it just tries to climb. But here's my erodium. You can see how well it's doing. Now this is a little bit from back last October when I brought it in from outside and put it in this little Wardian case. It has really grown well in there. It has bloomed all winter long. I am really concerned that it hasn't had any quote-unquote rest period, and I don't know how it will do when I plant it outside in the spring in a lot of my different Hypertufa pots. But you can see how small it was back then, and then how much it has grown taller and thicker. And it is taller because it's trying to climb out of the Wardian case there, because it does want to spread. This just spreads endlessly, it seems like to me. It'll go all over the top of a trough if you put it in there. But it's just been gorgeous. I love this plant. It's one of my most favorite little tiny alpine plants for a small garden. But we'll wait to start transplanting when it's nice and warm outside and ready to handle it. You can see how tall it's getting, just trying to escape the terrarium. Now these are all under grow lights. I have everything under grow lights here in the basement. Now this is one I'm thinking of harvesting for the new aquarium. I'm not sure what that rosette is, some kind of echeveria, I guess, there with the red tips. I think this one with the long air roots is some kind of an Graptopetalum aspen glow, I'm thinking. It might be just, the regular Paraguayense ghost plant, but it seems to have such a, orangey glow. It may be a variety of aspen glow, or it could be just the temperature and how it's grown here under lights in the basement. But it looks like it's cascading, trying to escape. The Hypertufa pot there is getting much too little for it. The chalk sticks back there in the background, they're just still blooming like crazy. They bloomed all winter long. I guess they don't know they're just supposed to bloom in the summer. Now my ivy that I brought in from the pots planted out back, growing really well. It's spreading like crazy. Now, I'm not real sure what this plant is. I think it's some kind of Pachycetum. Not real sure, but I do want to try to harvest some of that for the aquarium. I think it, I don't know if it's supposed to look like that or it's supposed to be a little bit tighter. And I don't really know what that tall purple one in the background is. The smaller purple there on the right is one of the Purple von Nuremberg, but it does appear to be stretched out. But I've got them crowded in there. They've grown so big and tall, they just need to be pulled out and kind of centered out alone. the aloe badly needs to be repotted. It has just grown so thickly and so tight in there. It's even dying out a little bit in the center because there's just not enough room to support this many aloe. So I'm looking forward to putting those out in some more tufa pots. And you saw me in a recent video, I transplanted the glauca, Pilea glauca. This is my little taco plant. I think it's grown twice the size of what it was, but we're waiting to put it in something. Now this again is either a ghost plant or some of the Aspen Glow. My Thanksgiving cactus has finally stopped blooming for this time period, and it's looking real good. Now these I think are my baby necklace, or it could be string of buttons. I'm not real sure. I lost the names to those. And my little water cuttings that I rooted here, they're just growing. They got tons of roots, and they're trying to take over one of the nearby Hypertufa pots. I forget the name of this orangey one that's in this pot. But they're just trying to populate down here. Can't wait to get them outside and see what they do. But the Pilea is doing real wonderful. I love it. Looking forward to see how that color, that chemical colorant that I used on these pots, holds out through the summertime. Now this is a Wardian case that I planted last fall, and I did previously have a giant jade plant in the center, but I took that out. It grew too quickly and just overwhelmed everything. But these have grown tremendously and are doing real well. Now you can see from the other side, that's either the ogre ears or the golem that I've got there in the corner on the right. It's doing real nicely. And one of those little tiny, the name escaped me right now, Trifasciata. And I have some more ivy there on the left. And a lot of my wandering Jew. I'm going to have a lot of wandering Jew. And then that's the baby tears I've kept in Hypertufa all winter long. It dies, comes and goes, dies, comes and goes. My trailing jade, I am going to trim that and replant and get it going. Now this is a lot of my seedlings and cuttings that I had planted of jade plants. And they're doing real well. They're going to get their individual planters during the summertime because I've got so many pots that I need to repopulate. Quite a few of my plants here have grown really well, and I'm either going to join those with others, or that's the Hawathia. That's what I couldn't think of before, the Hawathia. Now you can see the kind of weather I'm having outside. We had a decent snowfall yesterday. It was enough to blanket the ground, make everything turn white. But I've got a lot of work to get out here and do, especially cleanups and clip blacks. That's what I do plan to do. I was hoping to do that today, but I don't know if I'm going to venture out into the snow. Back there by the garden shed is where I'd set up kind of a planting area for my Hypertufa, but it's next to some hydrangea bushes. And I do plan to go back there and just cut them all back. I'm not real familiar with hydrangea bushes and which you cut back in the fall, which you cut back in the early spring or late winter. I'm just going to chop them down and we'll see what happens. Some are mop heads and some are the other type, lace cap. But we'll have to see, and then I'll know what to clip and what not to clip and when. But let's go back inside. It's cold out here. It's early in the morning. Sun's not out yet, if we're going to get any sun. And I've just got a lot of straightening up still to do, more pots to plant. Most of these I'll probably wait until it's warmer outside to get them potted up. But you can see I've got a lot to do, got a lot ahead of me. But thanks for joining me today, just for a quick little update on my plants and pots, and join me later for more videos.